We're here at Perry South Campground, Deschutes National Forest, Central Oregon. To the right is sites 1 through 40. That's the lower loop with the boat ramp, boat launch. To the left is 43 through 63, the upper loop. I do believe the upper loop's higher quality. We're going to do that one first, and then we're going to come back here and we're going to do sites 1 through 40 and check out the boat ramp, boat launch, and the Shoreline hiking trail. Let's do it. Here's site 43. You've got picnic table, fire pit. You're kind of at the bottom of this hill. These are rolling hills. There's some ponderosa pines and junipers. Here's your site next to you. You got bathrooms right there, garbage is right there. Water is over here, so for this reason, I would not recommend 43. This is Spring Creek. It's kind of on the opposite side of your site. Let's keep hiking. Here's 45. Not really a fan. It's on the hillside. I mean, the hill's pretty, but not the best privacy lines. You're right next to the bathroom. I guess if you need ready bathroom access, that's a plus, but if you're looking for privacy, that's a negative. Not sure what this yellow stuff is, but something going on here. Crazy how this whole campground just parallels this nice little babbling Spring Creek. Some interesting contorted Tim Burton Dr. Seuss trees, gives visual interest. And here's our Spring Creek, all its majesty. Water pump. Cool. Great shot of Spring Creek straight ahead. Here's spot 46. Got your parking. I do like that the picnic table and fire pit are shaded and right next to Spring Creek, so that's a plus. And over here. So the proximity to Spring Creek is outstanding. I mean, you're just literally a few feet away. So you pan around here. You do have the road right here, so it's not like you're out in a private oasis. You do have also your campsite, campground buddies right next to you, two right next to each other, particularly the one in the foreground. Even a little trail between the campsites. So for that, it's not the most private. So not an epic site, an okay site, all things considered. Here's campsite 47. Got your picnic table, you got your fire pit, your kind of creek side of Spring Creek. It's decent shade, nice tree. I don't like that you got a campsite right next to you and you got the main road right here. So you're pretty exposed. The private sidelines aren't great, and you got somebody right there. Bathrooms are over there, which is good, but not the best site. Here's campsite 48. Got your parking. Here's your picnic table and fire pit. I don't know how close it is to the road. You got 55 right there, and you got a couple right down the creek right next to you. Direct line of sight. Not a great site. Need to be kind of close to the creek, but also the bathrooms right here, which is going to draw a lot of attention right into your area. So wouldn't pick it. Keeping it real. I know I'm being very picky, but there's 63 sites at this campground, and there's like so many campgrounds you can't even name them. So why not look for the creme de la creme? Sure, any of these would be serviceable, but not ideal. Here's 49, decent shade right next to the creek. You park right here. Like the lot lines of this one a little bit better. Got your picnic table. Yeah, you got great shade. This is one of the better shaded ones. And you got your fire pit right there. Kind of wish the fire pit was on the creek side, but oh well. Walk over this log. And here's your creek views. So not bad. You do have one right there. Oh, starting to get slightly excited about this one. I mean, it's not like epic because you're right on the road here, but seemed at least to be one of the better ones. But you do have another one right there. So that's going to be a big privacy ding. Here is spot 50, right on Spring Creek. Decent shade. You park right here. There's your picnic table. See where your fire pit is. Fire pit's just on the other side of the picnic table. So 50's got some good shade right up against Spring Creek. Don't love that you've got 49 right next to you. Privacy ding. Also have the road right here, so you're like right on the road. So as far as Perry South Campground goes, 49 and 50 are better than average, but as far as just generally epic destination camp sites, I don't think they're the best. I'm going to be doing Monty Campground shortly, hoping that that will yield slightly higher quality campsites. This place isn't bad. I mean, it's all relative, right? I like Perry South Campground better than I like Crooked River Campground and Deschutes River Campground down at Lake Billy Chinook. That to me is Walmart parking lot camping. This is definitely a little bit more rustic. So I like this better. Still not optimal. Here's campsite 51. Picnic table, fire pit, a lot of trees, decent shade right on Spring Creek. You do have a couple campsites behind you, 49 and 50, and you're right on the road here. That's probably the biggest thing. Look at this. Like, I'm walking back on the road right here. Here's our campsite 51. Not great, keeping it real. You got 52 up here, which is go close to 52, 51R. That's not ideal. So not great, decent, but not great, like a B minus, I'd say. Don't really grade them, but just as a relative value proposition. 52, picnic table, fire pit. This is the edge of the campground. So the positive is you are the farthest in this direction, I guess west. You got your own direct water access down here. Look at this. Spring Creek, babbling brook going right by your campsite, meandering around. So you got a lot of creek access. You're on the edge, but you do have 51 right next to you. But you do have a little bit of tree blockage, and maybe with your car and tent placement, you can mitigate that. Being at the end of the campground is nice. So yeah, you do have people doing this loop constantly, but I think 52 might be one of the best ones, if not the best one, because you're right on the edge here. So if you really position stuff correctly, you can leverage being on the edge of the campground to your maximum privacy advantage. So yeah, I'm digging 52. So far my best, but I haven't finished yet. And I love this access to Spring Creek. Look at this. Very gentle slope, very convenient to walk down here. And then you got your own Spring Creek access. Campsite 54, you got your driveway, you got your tent and your fire pit right next to it. I'm not even gonna walk into it. This is low quality. It's on the opposite side of Spring Creek, up against a hill. I don't really see any reason to do that one. You see straight ahead, even these ones, they're right on the creek, I had some issues with. So why would you go with the one that is fully exposed off the creek? That's just camping in the dirt, I call that. So it's a hard no against 54. That's not high quality camping, in my humble opinion. My attitude is there's so many amazing campgrounds with so many amazing camping sites that there's no reason to settle on a subpar campsite, especially if you're driving hours away to come here as like a destination. Why wouldn't you try to stack up your situation to your maximum value proposition? Why wouldn't you want to get the highest quality campsite you can get right up against a lake, right up against a river or a creek or epic mountain shot, something to make it worth the effort of driving hours to a national forest campground. So that's why I'm very hard on these low quality sites, because it's just like, why would you drive hours and just plop down there? It's not much better than being at a Walmart parking lot. Don't get it. Here is your bathroom. Campsite 55, according to the marker. Here you've got your parking, your picnic table, your fire pit, and your bathroom straight ahead. You're right on the road, as you can see to the right. There's really no visual interest. You got a hill here, some trees, but you're very exposed. I would not pick that site. Here is campsite number 56, parking on the right. Got your picnic table and your fire pit snug up against Spring Creek. The downside is you do have this road right here. You got a picnic table right there. You got 46 right there. So not the best privacy lines, not on the scale of epicosity. So the Spring Creek access is neat, but look, on the other side of it's a road. So I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I think the lack of privacy outweighs the accessibility to Spring Creek, so I would not pick that one. To each his or her own. Here is campsite 57. Picnic table, fire pit. Right up against Spring Creek. We're in the Deschutes River zone of Lake Billy Chinook, the Deschutes River arm. And don't like these privacy lines. I mean, you're right in the middle of kind of a street parking area. You've got your bathroom right across the way. You got 58 right next to you up in your business. So this is horrible privacy lines. For me, that's a deal breaker. I would not do 57. Just my humble opinion. 58, picnic table, fire pit. You're kind of up against Spring Creek. Not perfect access, but decent access. Privacy lines are a killer. You got 57 right here. Awkward, right in your business. Oh, you got 59 right there, awkward in your business. You're sandwiched between two. Yeah, you got the bathrooms right here, but this area is so open because it's a driving area that you're totally exposed. So no good. I would not pick 58. Like 52, the best so far, but I'm not done yet. Here's 59. You're right next to the garbages. I'm assuming these get redeployed around the campground, so that wouldn't normally be there. Little flooded right now, but that's a spring thing. Picnic table, fire pit, you're right up against Spring Creek. Obviously a great flat area to put your tent, so that's in the plus column. Privacy line is kind of a killer. You got 58, let me go around here, this tree, 58, 57 right up in your business. For me, that's a deal breaker. So you do have the bathroom right there, that's a win. But I think the negatives outweigh the positives on 59, so. It's a shame because this is an absolutely gorgeous area. We got Spring Creek running through our campground. We got beautiful junipers and pines, ponderosa lodgepole, interesting firs, hemlocks. Yeah, beautiful tree area like high desert Wonderland Zone and these rolling hills, sagebrush. Got some interesting like warped trees that are giving you either a Tim Burton or a Dr. Seuss vibe. So gorgeous area, high desert paradise, absolutely. So the area itself is outstanding. This is exactly what you want in like a high desert Wonderland zone. So I'm very complimentary to the area, to Deschutes National Forest. I think as far as Perry South Campground, spacing leaves a little something to be desired. Some of these could be better, but it's just the nature of the beast. Here's 60. Right on the road. So here's the road, here's 60, no privacy, and you're right next to 61. So like you park here, that's yours, and that's your neighbor. Like, hello, right in your business. Suboptimal. Not what I'm looking for my camping experience. So that's a deal breaker. 61 right here. There's the marker. Here's the site. Up against Spring Creek, that's in the plus, but I just don't like the privacy. You don't want your campsite right on the road, and you don't want it right next to another site. Like these are just, to me, privacy 101s. Like and you just have that sardine crammed in there feel. Now this is very interesting. 62, got your parking here. You've got the Spring Creek. You have your picnic table and fire pit on the other side of the water. This is insane. I love it. 62. So picnic table, fire pit. You literally have to cross the creek multiple times to take all your gear over your picnic table. Pretty interesting. We have 63. Obviously you park right here in front of 63. And 63 and 62 are insane because you literally have all your stuff on the other side of Spring Creek. So you get to take multiple trips across Spring Creek to your picnic table straight ahead in your fire pit. Take your cooler, your tent, whatever the heck it is you got with you, your chairs, and you hang out on the other side of the creek, but you have to cross the creek like a bunch of times to get your stuff over there. So that's interesting. To the right, Intrepid Explorer, that could actually be very fun and interesting. Gives it more of a hardy wilderness feel, but to some people that might be a safety issue and that might be a deal breaker. Here is a day use site on the edge of the lower loop before campsite 1. You can see the road is going right by it. And we're gonna walk through the gate here. So this is the lower loop. It's sites 1 through 40, and the upper loop is sites 43 through 63. Don't ask me what happened to 41 and 42. They do not exist. And here is campsite 1. Pretty exposed. You literally have the road right across the way. Campfire, fire pit. Big parking area surrounded by rocks. Kind of cool, but not a fan. Lack of privacy. My viewpoint is if you're gonna come out to a place like this, you want be right up against Lake Billy Chinook. You want to be next to Spring Creek, which is a gorgeous creek that runs through this campsite. Okay, here's spot number 2. You got your parking, your fire pit, your picnic table. The other side of site 2, if you can make it out, that is Spring Creek. That is the creek that runs through this entire campground, both the upper and lower loop. This is the lower loop. As you can see, a squirrel is showing us the way, or is that a chipmunk? You can always tell by the stripe on the tail. See, the Spring Creek is running underneath the highway. Highway is not exactly rustic, a little man-made for my taste. So that is Spring Creek. To give you a little sense of perspective, this is site 2. Straight ahead, the other side of the road is the bathrooms. Here's the wastewater. Little sign, little light brown cylindrical thing. And we come back over here to the main road. So there's our restroom for this bay of campsites. Here is campsite number 3. We've got the parking, picnic table, fire pit on the right. You got Spring Creek right behind you. Would be great, except look, you got 2 right there and 1 right there. You got the highway literally running right by you. So anybody going to Monty Campground, anybody exploring this area, gonna be driving right by your site. And it's mostly trucks and SUVs, people pulling boats, so it's some loud traffic. So for that reason, my humble opinion, it's a deal breaker. I would not do 1, 2, or 3. I think those are too close to the highway. Down there, it's again Spring Creek. If you had to describe this campground in one term, it would be a creek runs through it. And look at that, that's pretty gorgeous. Let's continue to hike along. So I did drive through this whole thing before I started to review it because it is open, but none of the campsites are taken. Except spot 38 is the camp host, has all their equipment there, but there's nobody there. So I'll just skip that site for privacy purposes. But beyond that, we are the only human beings here. We just went down and did the boat ramp, boat launch is at the edge of the lower loop. Okay, so if you're driving from Lake Billy Chinook from the Madras side, you ascend up the canyon and then you come up to Perry South. The right is sites 1 through 40, which is the lower loop, which is what we're on now. The left is sites 43 to 63, which is a little farther away from the developed area as far as the boat ramp is on this side. Okay, so here's campsite number 4. These two are kind of laid out funny. You also have 5 over here. You can see the marker. So I'm reading that straight ahead, this picnic table and fire pit, that's for 5, and you can see the parking in front of it. See over there, that picnic table and fire pit must be 4, with this being your parking for 4. So you park here, walk over there. I mean, I guess it's cool you're right up against Spring Creek, but that's very bizarre because you're kind of walking almost through or by Site 5. I'm not a fan of that. That's no bueno. I would not do 4 or 5. I think that's a very odd design. Unless you get 4 or 5 together as a group play, then it just kind of seems awkward and it's not high enough quality to be a group recommendation, candidly. Here's 6, and here's where you park. And here is your picnic table and fire pit. This is a through parking, so that's nice. Allow for a bigger vehicle. And you got a little access to Spring Creek here. You can see it's kind of a little dirty. I mean, you can see a little bit of a glisten in the water there, but not exactly like a dream picturesque babbling brook running through your campsite. Here is Site 7. You see the parking in front of it, grassy, and then you got your picnic table and your fire pit. Again, up against Spring Creek, which is cool, but not a very picturesque section, kind of an overgrown section. I don't know if they never want to clean that up or what, but I'll tell you this, the upper loop, 43 through 63, the sections of Spring Creek on that are open and pristine. Makes more of a picturesque babbling brook running through your campsite. This one doesn't really have that effect, so a little disappointing. So far, I think I already did the upper. I did the upper first. I think the upper is better than the lower. I think it's higher quality, but we're gonna keep going, keep an open mind. Here is Site 8. Here's your parking. And then go down. So this one's a little better. I'll give this one a little bit of praise. You got your picnic table, you got your fire pit. There's 7 over there. Not ideal privacy-wise, but not the worst. And look at this direct shot to Spring Creek. So this is what I'm talking about. At least you feel like you're up close and personal with the creek and not just sitting next to some branches. Yeah, so I'm digging this. Kind of pretty. Nice little section of Spring Creek. You're kind of a little below the road. I mean, the road does run right by you, but at least it's not 5 or 10 feet away from the road. That's something. Main privacy ding is 7's over there and the road runs by you, but so far 8 is the best. Keep a running tally of the 40 in my noggin and rank them as I go. Otherwise it just gets too confusing. So again, 8, picnic table, fire pit, nice little section of Spring Creek. Closest neighbor 7. You are pretty exposed here with the road, so I'm not saying this is the coolest campsite I've ever seen by any means. Here's Site 9. Got your driveway. It's pretty easy. See Site 10 right next to it, straight ahead. But Site 9, very grassy. Noticing that quite a bit on this side, more so than the other side, the upper loop. You got your picnic table, you got your fire pit. And let's walk over and take a look again at your friend Spring Creek. And here is Spring Creek. Decent access. I mean, not the most scenic section of creek that human beings have ever laid their eyes on by any stretch, but it's something. I mean, it's not epic. I'm keeping it real. It's not epic, but it's something. So that was Site 9. Here is Site 10. We've got our picnic table and our fire pit. Look how exposed this is. I mean, the road, it's right here. 10 is no bueno. Also looks like the section of Spring Creek is very branchy and obstructed, not your babbling brook dream scenario. So 10 is no bueno, keeping it real. Time to go to 11. Okay, so here is 11. 11 similar to 10. I think 11 and 12 are also similar to 10. Right on the road. See, here's the road. Here's your bathrooms. Here's 11. So you're no privacy right on the road, and the section of Spring Creek you're up against is very overgrown and kind of nasty. So doesn't do anything for me. Here is 12. I think 12 is going to be exactly the same as 10 and 11. I won't repeat myself. Again, bathrooms, that's neat. Another wastewater light brown cylinder thing. And making good progress. We got 40 of these on this side, the lower loop. Here is site 13. Big driveway, roundabout to back to the road. And your camping spot is over here. Good shade, give it that. Picnic table, fire pit, overlooking the mighty, epic, roaring, raging Spring Creek. See, isn't that raging? It's right down below. Good access to it and kind of a cool area. Let me look up at the sun here. See, you got beautiful sun right there. And then you have the Spring Creek. So that's pretty good access, I'll give it that. Down here a little bit, here's our Spring Creek. Gotta say though, I'm not a fan of 12 because of the road access. I mean, this is a pretty busy campground, and I'll tell you, because the boat dock ramp launch is straight ahead, you're gonna have a ton of boaters driving by this with their loud trucks and heavy boats all day making noise. So it's not like this is a quiet, sleepy campground. This is a high volume boat launch, boat ramp campground. So for that reason, I would be even more scared to get one of these. Here's 14, and same old deal. I mean, look at this. This is not great. Yeah, the shade is outstanding, but beyond that, you got kind of a nasty creek overgrown beyond you. You have this road right here, which is the main thoroughfare to the boat ramp launch this way, which we are just mere a tenth or two from on our left. So you're gonna have a high volume of cars driving by here. So you pay a premium in a negative way to be on the road at Perry South Campground Lower Loop because of the high volume. Here's campsite 15. Got a little, reminds me of like Braveheart, the Phalanx, Pikeman, little build out there. It's cool. Here's your picnic table. Here's your fire pit. See, this creek is just so overgrown that I'm not a fan. I'm just not digging this. The vibe is not coming my way. If you're looking for a little babbling brook, at least do the upper loop, 43 through 63. Here's 16. Got your road, your picnic table, your fire pit. At least this one has a little bit of a barrier to the road, but the road is still going right by you. Again, the overgrown Spring Creek, the other side. I'm not the biggest fan of this lower loop so far. These seem like low quality campsites to me, keeping it real. Not gonna lie. I think it's because I did the upper loop better. All right, next bay of campsites. Here's 17. This is a parking spot for the restroom, 15 minutes only. That's not for 17, but that's very annoying to have that right next to your campsite. So here's 17, hanging out right here, totally exposed, picnic table, fire pit. Oh, the bathroom right there. People temporarily parking to use it. No bueno. 17 garbage. Straight ahead, that is the overflow parking for the boat ramp launch on the other side of this creek and this brush. So you're gonna hear trucks going up and down that. Not good. Here's 18. Hey, 18 and 17, you're now best friends because you're basically sharing a campsite together. Not a fan. Same reasons as 17. Digging all these ponderosa pines. I mean, look at this. Ponderosa pine off the chart. Awesomeness. We get the sun peeking through our ponderosa friends. So we're coming up here. Got a sink disposal only. And it says there's no turnaround, but clearly you gotta be able to turn around. You got 20 with the picnic table, fire pit on that side, little parking, another picnic table and fire pit over here. Kind of seems like there's 2 for 1. Then here's 21. And a little unclear which one is 21. Is 21 this one with that tent pad or this one with this tent pad? Either way, I don't want to stay either one of them. Look how on top of each other these are. So you got your fire pit, your picnic table, a tent pad, and mere feet away another tent pad. Oh, and then another tent pad. So unless this is meant to be a massive group area, which would actually make sense, then who is going to want to stay that close to other people? It's creepy. And on top of that, you're right above the main road. See that road beneath this little area? Oh, there's a tent pad straight ahead. I missed that initially. So there's 4 tent pads in a little area, but that road right there is the main road to the boat ramp dock, so it's going to be busy all day during summer. So you got cars, trucks, boats driving by there constantly, and then you're in this mosh pit of 4 tent pads. Very exposed here. Here is site 22. Got a little bit of an in for parking. There's your picnic table. This is horrible, keeping it real. You can see a tent pad above on the other side of that big thick ponderosa fire pit. I don't like this at all. It's a horrible site, keeping it real. Some of these are just such low quality, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time going in depth or walking them thoroughly. They're not making the cut to even give that level of effort. Here's 24. Again, there's that tent pad for 22. Here's 24. You got a couple picnic tables, fire pit. Looks like tent pad on the other side of that. So 2 tent pads. There's another one over there. So you got 2 picnic tables, 2 tent pads, maybe 2 fire pits or 1 fire pit. 24. Not good. You do have the sink disposal only wastewater thing right next to you, so that's something feather in your cap. But look how exposed this section is. You got people down there, you got people down there looking at you, you got all these people, kind of a turnaround zone, so cars are going to be coming up here and saying, oh no, how do I turn around, and awkwardly doing 3-point turns. So I don't know, not a fan. Here is campsite 26. Very exposed. Here's your road. Over there is your overflow for boat. So you got 30 right there, parking. You got 28 with like this path that's gonna take you over to a picnic table on the other side of this overgrowth. And then you have another one over here. Let's take a look. 27 makes sense. So here's 27. So you got the path for 27, the path for 28, the path for 30, communal parking for just these 3. Number 27, a marker. So 27, again, you're sharing the parking with 30 and 28. Come down here, and at least you're already at your site. Again, you're right on the other side of the main boat ramp. So trucks, the whole day, right on the other side of this. Hear people coordinating, launching their boat. Sounds like a stressful background noise to me. And yeah, you got the Spring Creek right here, but look at all this overgrowth. I mean, it's kind of nasty. I think that they should clear this out, and then it'd be a little bit more epic at least. It's kind of a tough trade-off though, because that's part of your privacy line. If you clear it out, you'll have less privacy, but it's really not that pretty as it is. So I don't know, not a fan. Keeping it real. The path to 28 is bizarre. I'll endeavor to take it. I gotta say though, I'm not a fan of these kind of designs. Sometimes they're just trying to cram as many campsites as they can into an area, and in my humble opinion, they get a little cute. So I'm towards 28, but I'm walking by my neighbor. Hey, 30, how are you? Don't mean to interrupt your storytelling and marshmallow time. I'm just walking to my campsite. See, I think this is garbage. I'm not a fan of this. It's awkward for both parties. Oh, look, I found it. So you get to come around here. So you get to lug all your gear all the way up here to 28. There's your your fire pit, your picnic table. Now you're right on the edge of the boat dock, boat ramps. You're gonna hear and see boats straight ahead, beep, 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 as they launch into Metolius arm of Lake Billy Chinook. Let's walk over here. You get some access to the beauty, but candidly, this isn't the side I'd want to be on, because let's just go down to where you would look at the lake right here. I mean, that's pretty right now. There's nobody here. That's freaking gorgeous. But you got to figure if you're here during peak season, that entire dock, half of it at least, is going to be full. People fishing, boats, trucks backing up their boats right down into this dock. This is basically a loading zone. So you got the sound of people launching their boat all day just behind you. And to me, that's like a Walmart parking lot sound that I find grating. You're not going to get this because I'm here right now and there's nobody here. So this will not be your view. So I gotta say, I'm not a fan of campsite 28. I don't mean to rag on these, but I just don't like the walk to it next to a couple other sites, communal parking, and then you kind of get the sound of boats behind you the whole time, unloading all day. If you're like me, that sound can be a little annoying, you know? So to lock in that sound in the background all day, but without really getting the visual benefit of it, because you can't really get a clear, unobstructed view of the lake. Kind of the worst of both worlds, in my humble opinion. So I would not do 28. You know, I'm happy to carry my gear, but I don't really see the effort being the reward in this case. So I'm not a fan of the way they did 30, 28, 27 in this particular instance. Sometimes when they do this hike in, it could be magic, but I don't think this is one of those cases. Here's 30. Good parking. Great shade. I mean, look at this. We are completely shaded. Big area, so that's in the plus column. But look at this. You have 31 and 32 like right next to you in your business. Oh yeah, and you have 28 right next to you in your business. So you got 3 close personal friends, whether you knew or not that they were your friends. By the end, they'll be your best friends. Coming down here. Also, you got a picnic table over there. So this is kind of a weird design. Really, that's another one. So let's go take a look at your Spring Creek. Not cool, not a pretty section. Gives you the Babbling Brook sound, but that's about it. Straight ahead, that's the edge of Lake Billy Chinook and the boat dock, boat ramp. So on top of that, not only do you have 5 sites right in your business and a very low quality section of Spring Creek, but you also are close enough to the boat ramp launch that you're gonna hear beep, beep, beep the entire time as people launch their boats straight through those trees. You can make out the lake, Metolius arm of Lake Billy Chinook. So to me, this is the worst of every world. 5 people on top of you, a poor section of Spring Creek, and close enough to hear the noise of Lake Billy Chinook, but not close enough to get the beauty. Man, I sound negative, but I'm keeping it real. I think I'm being harder on this lower loop because I did the upper loop first and I loved the lower loop. Like I think spot 52 was great. This, on the other hand, not so much. Here's 32. Here's your driveway and your fire pit and your picnic table. Pretty good canopy as far as shade goes, but look at your neighbors. Ba-bang, ba-bang, right straight dab across from you. So for me, that's a deal breaker. Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3 campsites, all kind of within line of sight of here. And I don't think there's any great shakes about being right here. You got this overgrowth Spring Creek section. This is the beautiful Spring Creek. Flowing into our main body of water, Metolius arm of Lake Billy Chinook, but I don't think this is any great shakes. I mean, look at this. Massively overgrown. If I was running this, I would try to clear this out. Maybe there's reasons why they can't ecologically, but I think this would be way prettier cleaned out, my humble opinion. So no bueno for 32. Here's campsite 33. And you got your picnic table. I'll show you, here's your road here. There's our sun peeking through our ponderosa pines. But you got your road here, you got your picnic table right off the road. I mean, look at that. You got a little creek running underneath you, Spring Creek, that's cool. But look at this. I mean, got this kind of overgrown. I mean, this is the stuff of nightmares. I don't think this is that cool. I'm being completely honest. Like an overgrown little brush next to a low quality section of Spring Creek. You got your fire pit here. Does it really sound that wonderful to sit here next to this overgrowth of brush and watch Spring Creek go by and dodge mosquitoes? I mean, this side's obviously better. This is your money side. This side gives you a little bit of a view, so I'll give you that. But I don't know. You see how overgrown this is? I don't know if it's an ecological nature thing. They don't want to disturb the growth, but I mean, come on. Does this really look like it's anything special ecologically? Does it look like pretty basic overgrowth underbrush? I don't think that that's some sort of rare species that needs to thrive. You do also have some campsites across the way. Here's 34. Again, road to the boat ramp right here. Yeah, that one tree is awesome. That ponderosa pine is like pure epicosity. But beyond that, I mean, look, you're like in the swampy brush. Kind of weird. I would worry about mosquitoes depending on the time of year. 34, so, not so bueno. Here's campsite 35. Right up against the hills, you can see. But that's not that cool, keeping it real. Got your picnic table, your fire pit. Good shade. Little bit of a creek runs through it, but overgrown, and I'm not digging this one, candidly. Okay, so here's 36. You got your picnic table, your fire pit. It's got a big hill next to you. There's no point of interest. You're not even next to the creek, not next to Metolius Arm Lake Billy Chinook. Right on the road here, as you can see, would not pick 36. Okay, so here's spot 37. You got a picnic table, fire pit. You just got a hills. You have the bathroom next to you. You're right on the road. I would not pick 37. No bueno. Here's 39. I'm loving this ponderosa pine heaven. Rolling hills. It's pretty. You're right on the road. This is a popular road to go to Perry South Campground boat ramp, boat launch. So you're gonna have cars, trucks, particularly with boats, going by you all day. So here's where you park. Campsite, picnic table, fire pit. Wouldn't pick 39. Here's site 40. We're getting right on the road, not high quality. Wouldn't recommend it. But that concludes the lower loop of Perry South Campground. But I say I'm pretty underwhelmed by the quality of these 40. None that I would consider personally booking. Look at how brightly green and vivid these trees are. Anyway, I wouldn't book any of the sites in the lower loop, these 40. I did the upper loop. I like site 52. That's the best of the 63, combining the lower and upper loop of Perry South Campground. That said, though, I liked Monty Campground down the road a little bit, down the forest road, quite a bit more. Monty Campground I fell in love with. It's more rustic, more spaced out. It's only 12 sites, first come, first serve, particularly sites 8, 2, and 4. So if I'm coming in this area, depending on time of year, I'm doing Monty Campground, sites 8, 2, and 4. Now the tough part is that's a little bit of a gamble because it's first come, first serve. What if you get there and all the good sites are taken? So if you want to hedge your bet, if you're coming like 4th of July weekend and you're like, oh, I'm coming at the ground zero of the busiest time of year and I don't want to risk not getting a site, you want to book something at Perry South so you at least know you got a campsite. My choice would be site 52. A couple other sites on the upper loop that were okay. I thought on this side, the best one was probably campsite 8, but I wasn't really blown away by anything on this. I know I'm being super picky, but that's kind of the point of this. We have so many high quality campgrounds here in the Pacific Northwest and Oregon, really in the western half of the United States, 11 or 12 states. We can afford to be picky. So my viewpoint is if you're gonna spend hours of your life driving, a few nights camping, why not maximize the experience by finding a high quality site? We're here at the Perry South Boat Dock Ramp Launch here on the lower loop of the Perry South Campground. And you've got a little bit of signage over here. And let's go take a look at the boat ramp. So this is the west quadrant of the Lake Billy Chinook complex, which is the Cove Palisades State Park. And we're outside of the state park technically. This is Deschutes National Forest. This is the Deschutes National Forest Campground. Campground is divided into the upper section and the lower section. This is the lower section to the right from the road coming from Madras. And here is our boat launch. See, pretty well gradiated. I can tell you that right now, because of some pre-scheduled PG hydroelectric dam work, the lake is at a little bit of a lower level than normal. So typically that water level would be higher. I'm hearing anywhere from 2 to 4 or 5 feet higher, depending on who you talk to. So don't let that trouble you. That would be a lot higher. And let's come down here and take a look. First of all, I'll just scan here. One of the cool things about this campground, Prairie South Campground, is you've got Spring Creek running through it. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Let's go down and walk this dock. Oh, this is absolutely gorgeous. And look at this. Got some slips. You can see the water levels are super low right now. Typically that shore would be pretty much up to near the edge. So we are at very low water levels, but it's well advertised. They're going to be up about, in a few weeks, about a month, they'll be back up to normal levels. Oh, this is gorgeous. Nice big dock. Lots of boat slips right here. And most importantly, look at that view straight ahead. So this is the Metolius arm of Lake Billy Chinook. Lake Billy Chinook is pretty awesome. It's a water sport, boating, kayaking, fishing wonderland. I think definitely a top 5 state park in the state of Oregon. I think a top 3. Its claim to fame is the confluence of Metolius River, Crooked River, and Deschutes River, all coming together in one awesome lake of awesomeness. That's an official terminology. You can see this is just a endless high desert lake river wonderland that stretches for miles, multiple tendrils. This is gorgeous. Also got a lot of ponderosa pines and lodgepoles and junipers and striationed canyons. Loving this water. A little bit of an algae green effect. No, I'm not at Chernobyl. I'm here in Central Oregon. This is pretty epic, I gotta say. Makes me want to hop in one of my kayaks. I got pungos and orus, so I'm gonna jump in a kayak. If you have an appreciation for a juxtaposition between the high desert ecological footprint and lakes and rivers, then this is the area for you. This, my friend, is magic. This is a high desert wonderland. I mean, I don't think words are going to be able to explain how awesome and epic this is. Absolutely epic, my friend. Absolutely beautiful. Very cool. They do have a fish cleaning station. Adult Chinook, sockeye, and steelhead in Lake Billy Chinook. Very awesome. Here's the rules for you fish cleaners. Here is the day use area of the Prairie South Campground boat ramp, boat launch, boat dock. As you can see, pan around here. There's our boat ramp, boat launch. It's our dock slip infrastructure. Here's obviously a paved day use picnic site zone. Got a picnic site right here, overlooking the lake. And then one right over here. Well, we'll pan over, there's one behind us, another one behind us. So a couple off the asphalt, a couple on the asphalt. So here's this one. Great shots of Metolius river arm of Lake Billy Chinook. And last but not least, there's one up there. So we got 5 day use picnic sites overlooking this incredible high desert wonderland. And you have a little bit of a built out shoreline trail. See the left side here, it's got a little bit of a railing with logs. And let's see how far this goes. I think it only goes like a tenth of a mile or two, so this is not a long hike. And the farther you go, the more, I think, bushwhacking of a situation it becomes. But first section here right on the shoreline is very high quality. And you get some epic money shots looking down on Metolius River arm of Lake Chinook. Oh, look at this. So if you're a fisherman, maybe this is a good path to take to come down to Shoreline. See all this shoreline you can be standing at to fish. And oh, that's beautiful. This is beautiful, I gotta say. A high desert Wonderland Zone. I'm digging this trail. It's pretty high quality. Pretty well manicured and groomed. Step over this log. Man, through some of these branches. And we're back to the boat ramp launch moorage area.